MudRFunR here. Today I'm doing something that I was hoping to be able to do in a little bit warmer weather, and that's why I ended up with what I got here. There's my Serpentine Belt. So this is a good reason why you don't put things off for too long. I heard this idler pulley making a whole bunch of noise long time ago already, but my idler pulley seized right up on me, and this is what I'm left with now. That once was a Serpentine Belt. This is the one that caused the whole mess right there. Nice. And this one is getting a little bit dry, so I'm replacing that one. And might be able to hear it there. It's starting to sound pretty dry, so I'm going to replace all three. Get rid of this mess. Eesh. So now I'll show you how I got this whole mess fixed up. Yeah. So before you do anything, get an 8mm wrench and take off the negative cable on both batteries. One down, one to go. Since the belt was already off of this one before I got this started, you'll have to click on the link here to see the belt removal and belt installation. Okay, so for starters, I'm starting out with a regular 14mm wrench, and I'm just going to crack them all loose with that. There's one. And this is the one that bent on me. I don't even know if I can get a wrench on it. There we go. I'll try to get at the tensioner pulley once I get both idlers off. Okay, I got it loose, and I've got a ratcheting 14mm, just make it a little quicker. Yeah, I guess I don't need it, not for this one. Okay. There's one of them. Not good. While I was looking underneath here for more strands and pieces of the belt, I just had a look at all the wiring harnesses and the vacuum lines and the rad hoses, everything that could have got damaged underneath here. I just checked it all over and make sure that you don't have any frayed pieces. If you've had this happen, make sure you don't have any frayed pieces in behind, say like behind the alternator and behind the water pump, because that can really mess up some seals and bearings. Yeah, just bent a little bit. Okay, now that I got those two off, I'm going to try and get from underneath the tensioner, I'm going to try and get the tensioner pulley off without having to take the whole tensioner off. So what I did was got my wrench on the tensioner facing inward like this, had to get up underneath below the tensioner, and I got it loose. Now I'm going to see if my ratcheting wrench will get the rest. This one's a little stubborn. Again, I'm going underneath the tensioner to get at it. Just keep track of which way the dust cap is on here. Has that little dust cap, and the lip is facing outward, like so. Here's the tensioner pulley. This one's a little bit larger, just a tiny bit. Hopefully this is still going to work. Alright, one way to find out, see how it fits on the bushing there. Try it on there first. And that feels about right. Look at that, another piece. So I'm just going to put a little bit of anti-seize on the bolt before I put it back in the pulley. Just a tiny bit. And the reason I like to do this is because this screws into aluminum and it helps prevent oxidization. That bolt is a bit of a bugger to get at. I'll get back to you once I get that bolt in on the tensioner pulley. So I've got a little bit of anti-seize on the tip of both of the idler pulleys here. And we're just gonna put those two in. Get up those bolts. Kind of tricky getting in behind this cam here. Okay, the bottom one's in. Gonna tighten it up. And there's probably a torque on this too. I don't know what it is. Okay, idler pulley number 2. Just gotta tighten it up. You just want to make sure everything's going to spin freely. They are a little bit on the tight side when they're new, so no play, no wobble. Okay, should be all good to put the belt on. Okay, so since my belt was already ripped off, I did this video after the repair was already done, and I did this for you just so that you can see how to remove the belt and replace it. So click on the link if you want to see that. Okay, so before you fire this up, just make sure that your belts are all in all the grooves properly. Just make sure that they haven't jumped over a tooth. And that's especially important to check the crank because it's way down there. And it all looks good. Now I just have to hook up the batteries. Okay, she's all ready for a test start. Batteries are hooked up. Let's see what she does. So did you know that if you have a diesel engine and your serpentine belt comes off, you have no power steering and you also have no power brakes? And the voltmeter light is out and it's charging. All looks good. Just gotta get the engine warmed up a little more. Brr. My mirror here says -6. Brr.